Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking you straight into the heart of the action. The official swearing-in ceremony in Dolton, where brand new Mayor Jason House and the incoming trustees raised their right hands and took their oaths of office. The crowd? Fired up. The atmosphere? Electric. And if you haven't been following the non-stop chaos in Dolton, or the wild roller coaster inside Thornton Township, don't worry. I've got the recap and the breakdown you need. Now here's a headline. Tiffany Henyard, once the undisputed power broker of this area, has been stripped of not one, but two major leadership roles. Voters kicked her out after a single term as Mayor of Dolton. And just when you thought her fall couldn't get any steeper, she was blindsided and booted from her seat as Thornton Township supervisor through a rewritten caucus. Her empire collapsed overnight, and the political earthquake it triggered, still shaking the ground. That's what we're unpacking today. How we got here, how things spiral so far out of control, and what this new chapter of leadership could mean for Dolton's future. And here's the latest twist. A judge just tossed out Henyard's lawsuit claiming her removal was illegal. Her reaction? In classic Tiffany fashion, she snapped back with a threat. "I will be suing everybody tomorrow. This is illegal. This is illegal. In your face." That's not commentary. That's her, word for word. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, hold on, what did I just hear? Or maybe feeling lost in the mess, don't stress. We got plenty of deep dives right here on the channel breaking down Henyard scandals, controversies, and the trail of chaos she left behind. Once you see the full picture, you'll understand why the people of Dolton and Thornton Township finally said, enough, the show's over. It's time for change. But today isn't just about her downfall. It's about the transition of power. We're spotlighting the swearing-in itself, walking you through everything that went down as Mayor Jason House and the trustees stepped into their roles. And trust me, it wasn't just ceremonial. This was a reset button for the entire village, and you could feel it in the room. I've pulled together the most powerful, jaw-dropping moments from the trustees' speeches. And when they described what it was like working under Tiffany's shadow, it was raw, it was real, and it was brutally honest. Before we jump into all of that, do me a quick favor. If you're new here, smash that like button so you don't miss the stories that actually matter. And if you've been rocking with us for a while, hit it too. It pushes this truth out to more people who need to hear it. Now, buckle up, because this wasn't just another swearing-in ceremony. This was a political turning point, and you're about to see it all unfold. If you've been tracking the whirlwind of political drama in Dolton and Thornton Township, you already know it's been chaos. And if this is your first time stepping into the saga, buckle up. This channel is loaded with deep dives into Tiffany Henyard's controversial reign, the endless scandals that followed, and the breaking point that pushed residents to finally demand change. Years of frustration boiled over, and the people stood together to reclaim their voice. But today is different. Today belongs to Jason House, who was officially sworn in as Dolton's new mayor. Alongside him, a fresh slate of trustees took their oaths. And this wasn't just a formality. It felt like a rebirth, a reset for a village that desperately needed one. For many, it symbolized hope, accountability, and a leadership style built on transparency. And when the speeches started, the emotion hit hard. Trustees spoke raw truths about dysfunction, abuse, and what it means to finally step out of Henyard's shadow. And then came Tiffany's exit. True to form, she didn't slip away quietly. She stormed out with one last show. Reminding the room she was the first African-American female mayor of Dolton, she doubled down on her legacy with defiance. Y'all know I'm the first, the youngest female mayor. Female, stop following blindly. Educate yourself, she said, framing herself as a victim of verbal abuse while blasting critics for keeping up confusion. Her message wasn't conciliatory, it was combative. In a strange twist, Henyard tried to rally the room with a forced moment of unity. She told the crowd, "Neighbor, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it." But in the same breath, she accused others of overstepping and causing their own failures. And then came the parting shot. They asked if I'm going to sing the same song they sang when I lost. I said no. I'm not returning ignorance with ignorance. A not-so-subtle jab at those who celebrated her downfall. That jab, it hit a nerve. Because everyone remembered the infamous night Henyard mocked trustee Edward Steve after he lost his seat. Steve, battling multiple sclerosis, gave a heartfelt farewell. Instead of letting him leave with dignity, Henyard grabbed the mic and belted out, "Nah, nah, hey, hey, kiss him goodbye." To this day, that petty, cruel performance lives in Dolton's political memory as a low point of leadership, and it made her final words drip with hypocrisy. Then came the voices of Dolton's new future. Trustee Brittany Norwood delivered an emotional speech filled with gratitude and vulnerability. She talked about campaigning in freezing weather, neighbors bringing her coffee and hand warmers, and how every vote felt like warmth. She admitted to self-doubt, leaning on prayer and her mother for strength before meetings. Once inspired by Henyard's early rhetoric, Norwood now stood determined to build something real, rooted in service, not ego. Trustee Kiana Elsher's speech hit with equal force. She thanked God and her family for keeping her steady through the storms that left her emotionally drained and physically scarred. She recalled being Dolton's first female mayor elected with a landslide 82% of the vote, and then turned sharp with betrayal. "How dare you backstab me?" she shouted, her anger raw. Her tone echoed Henyard so closely that the room was left wondering, was she defending her or breaking away? Either way, the emotion underlined the stakes. This was a fight to rebuild. When Jason House finally took the stage, the contrast was impossible to miss. No theatrics, no self-praise, just quiet resolve, a focus on service, accountability, and listening. That silence was powerful. It said everything about the shift residents demanded. After years of chaos, Dolton wanted integrity, not a spectacle. And with House, they were ready to see if real leadership had finally arrived. Clerk Allison Kirk brought it full circle with her speech. She remembered meeting Jason House almost 20 years ago when he knocked on her door, campaigning against political powerhouse William Shaw. His clarity impressed her so much she cut him a check on the spot. 2 decades later, that same man stood before the community as mayor. Kirk, emotional, described how the past years had drained her, but also how faith and purpose carried them all through. The oath itself sealed the moment. In a split-screen flashback, Jason House's 2021 trustees swearing in played side by side with his 2025 inauguration as mayor. Same place, same presence. Only this time, the stakes were bigger. Holding the Bible was a young family member, reminding everyone that this wasn't just about politics. It was about legacy and how far the community had come. House's rise isn't just a personal victory. It's a signal of transformation. After years of viral scandals, public fights, and corruption, Dolton's residents are choosing something different. Leaders who listen, leaders who serve, leaders who deliver. The storm may not be over, but the direction has changed. And that's historic. Now the real question, what's next? The work starts here, and the story of Dolton is far from finished. So tell us in the comments, what do you want to see from Jason House's leadership? And if you believe this is a turning point worth watching, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in. Because the story isn't over, it's just beginning.